what's up, man? Welcome back to another episode of the It's Just Different podcast. And today, yes, I am giving you my thoughts, my opinions. If you wasn't on my Facebook page, my opinions of the Jim Harbaugh Minnesota Vikings Michigan Wolverines saga. Now, if you're just tuning into my channel, if you don't know, I am a Minnesota Vikings fan, been one since a kid. Michigan Wolverines fan, been one since a kid. Now, either way, obviously, however this worked out, Jim Harbaugh was going to be my football coach for either team. I would have preferred a younger coach in Minnesota, which we got in Kevin O'Connell, the offensive coordinator from the Rams. Can't be announced till after the Super Bowl, and I'll do another video about that. My feelings about him being the head coach. But a lot of people want to know what went down, what happened, why did he say his goodbyes and then all of a sudden come back, what happened? Well, from what I've been reading and what I've been gathering for people who don't really, go down the dark rabbit hole of the internet and find out information for themselves, and that's cool. That's why I'm here. I want to give people the information. That's what I try to do. I want to give y'all the real and not no made up stories that people like to put out. Jim Harbaugh, 7 years ago, when he was signed to be the head coach, was late 2014. I keep feeling like there's a hair on my eye. Late 2014, told the interim athletic director at the time, "Hey, I'm going to give you 7 years, and I'm going to flirt with the NFL after that. That's my urging. I want to get back." Not sure if he told Ward Manuel, but that's what he told the interim AD. So he was always going to have some type of dalliance with the NFL. So during this recruiting cycle, the early signing period, Michigan got a bunch of nice, great players, mostly on defense, but they did get a star receiver and Darius Clemens. And it was said that he told Clemens, his parents, and his pastor that, "Hey, I will listen to NFL offers if it comes my way." And also that he doesn't believe that Josh Gaddis, he doesn't know rather how long Josh Gaddis is going to be around, because he expected him to be a head coach at some point. Do not make the decision to come to Michigan based off of one or two guys. Make sure it's what you want, for the rest of your life. You want to be at the University of Michigan. You want to say that I came from the University of Michigan. Does big things for you. And kids still committed to Michigan. So that says a lot, right? So when we get to the Minnesota Vikings thing, at first it was the Raiders. And first off, people put out the Giants. That wasn't real. People put out the Bears. I don't know how real that was, but I tend to say it wasn't real. No one heard anything about that. Then it was Raiders. He has a great relationship with the Raiders. Met his wife in Vegas, by the way. And it was reported that he asked for a certain amount of money. Nobody knows. Him and Davis talked. So we're never gonna find that out. But that they never requested for an interview, so that didn't happen. And all of a sudden, Minnesota hires the GM, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, who was a lower level front office member, more like in the analytics department. And Jim Harbaugh was the head coach, so I don't even know how closely they were in the relationship wise. But he decided when he interviewed for the GM job for the Vikings, he had three names on his list of head coaching candidates. It was Jim Harbaugh, it was Kevin O'Connell who was getting the job, and it was Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, who moved on. By I think he went to Denver, if I'm correct. No, not Denver. I think he went to Vegas. I don't know. I'll look it up some other day. But if you remember, Patrick Graham also was interviewed the day before Jim Harbaugh in 9 hours, so he was really in the running for the head coaching vacancy in Minnesota. So what ended up happening was, he puts a filler out. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah puts a filler out to see what's going on. They talk on what was it, Skype, whatever the hell, Zoom, whatever. They talk on Zoom, and then they throw out the offer, the interview offer. Hey, do you want to come out? So he lets some people know in the and both Sampler and Shambeckler Hall. Hey, Blase tells us goodbye. Some people say he was saying his goodbye to a lot of the guys. Some staff didn't know. Other staff knew because they were coming with him. Just a couple guys. And he gets on a plane and comes to Minnesota. Now, here's what I tried to explain to people, which people got so upset with me about. I've been following this GM and head coaching search in Minnesota. I'm a Vikings fan. I'm heavily involved in it. I didn't fucking want Mike Zimmer no more. Get the fuck out. I was shocked that Rick Spielman got fired, and I wanted him out too, which is, let's start this shit all over. So, they've been doing this very methodical process of GM candidate. Interview like 8-9 people, interview 8 head coaches while they were doing GMs, right? So, it's been very slow, very methodical. So, people try to tell me, well, he thought that he had the job coming to Minnesota and that, he just bombed the interview. They didn't like him. No, listen, that's not. People stop, right? We might hate Michigan. That's fine, whatever. What happened was, and this is according to multiple sources, and also, I want to give respect and shout out to Courtney Cronin, who works for ESPN, and works for crap. She works for ESPN, but she's a Vikings beat writer. I'm sorry, y'all. She's a Vikings beat writer. And she got on Jay Key and Max's show the next morning and said that, a couple mornings after, something like that, and said that, I always tell people, it's in the details. Listen to what people say and how they say it. And everything she was saying was opinionated. She kept saying, hey, I think what happened was Jim did this. I think what happened was Jim thought this. I think like she was literally giving a guesstimate. And then she did the same thing on Get Up. And then everybody runs with this opinion of, well, Jim Harbaugh got on the plane and bombed the interview and now he's running back with his tail between his legs in Michigan. No. Yesterday I was listening to a podcast where Courtney Cronin was on again, and she didn't backtrack, but what she said was she corrected herself and said she knows now through people in the organization that there was a split on Jim Harbaugh. When he came into the building for the interview, some thought it was a formal interview. It was 9 hours, by the way. Some thought it was a formal interview. Some within the organization thought this is his job. He's coming to sign the contract. It was a split. Like, he didn't get on the plane not thinking he got on the plane because some people or someone in the organization told him, this is your job. Just come to Minnesota, obviously, to see the owners and view the stadium and see the facilities and all of that. And Jim even said to the Detroit Press at somewhere halfway through the interview, both sides realized, hey, this is just not a good fit. It's not a good fit. And I know why it's not a good fit. Because of Mike Zimmer. Like, if Mike Zimmer, the way he just did a horrible job of representing himself to the Vikings in the last year, just so angry and mad at everybody, man, and not playing any third-round picks this year. It was weird what he was doing to the rookies. And I feel like if Zimmer just got fired based off of just, being a bad coach and not culture stuff, I don't think there's no doubt Jim Harbaugh is the head coach. No doubt in my mind. But they wanted culture change. They wanted something new, which is why they went young and Kevin O'Connell, which is fine by me. So Jim Harbaugh gets back to his hotel, calls Ward and says, "Hey, would you like me to be your head coach?" And Ward tells him, 100%, yes. That's what happened. People say, well, Michigan should have fired him. That was their opportunity right there. Michigan don't want him. He's not that good. Him picking up the phone and calling Ward Manuel, that was the out. If they didn't want him, if he wasn't that good, that was the out, people. So you're getting mad about what exactly? Because he gave them the out. I know I put my job on the line by getting on this plane and interviewing for this job, which is why as a man I picked the phone up and call my head man, my boss, and see, hey, do I still have my job? I'm not coming back thinking that, oh, this shit is mine. Nobody's gonna be better than me. No, humble. Pick up the phone very humbly and say, hey man, do I still have my job? And if you want me here, I'm here for as long as you want me here. As long as you guys want me here, I'm your head coach. No more NFL, nothing, none of that. That's done. That's over with. People say, well, we'll see next year. But we're gonna find out when this contract's signed by the buyout. The buyout is gonna tell you everything. Because if it's high, it's gonna tell you ain't nobody gonna do all that to get Jim Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? Like you make the buyout high, and it's like to get a guy out, you really gotta spend some money. You really gotta break the bank. So, needless to say, I try to tell people this. Okay? My whole point about it was, people said, well, they never offered him the contract. Well, they never got a chance to because both teams agreed at the end of the interview, this is just not a fit. I didn't bomb the interview. We don't like you as a person. It's just the culture change in Minnesota is a thing right now. And we feel like going younger is better. Has nothing to do with how the interview went with you personally. You didn't bomb the interview. You're not a bad football coach. We feel better about the younger guy. And Jim, and that's fine. But it's also that it was miscommunication on what Jim Harbaugh was coming into Minnesota to do. Again, some thought he was coming to sign a contract. Some thought this is a formal interview. So if anybody's at fault here, it's the Vikings for not having pure communication in their front office. How did everybody wasn't on the same page about this is beyond me. That's crazy. Because it's Jim Harbaugh. It's not some dude off the street that you bring in. This is Jim Harbaugh. You have to be in constant communication, have an agenda that aligns with each other's. And even Chris Carter said on NFL Network, when he got there, when he got to Minnesota, he was there to sign the contract. They wanted to hire Jim. They wanted to hire Jim Harbaugh. Miscommunication, people. Miscommunication. And I kept telling people, no, it's just not what happened. I'm a Vikings fan. You can't tell me nothing about the Vikings. I follow a lot of beat writers on the Vikings. They were never going to offer Jim Harbaugh the contract that night. Never was. Even if they loved him, they were going to sleep on it, weigh their options. Kevin O'Connell, Jim Harbaugh, let's have the brain trust, sit and talk about it, and then make phone calls to whomever the candidate was that they chose. Never was going to offer him right after the interview. It wasn't going to happen. So there you have it, man. All of that in a nutshell. And people go, well, it's going to hurt Michigan. Man, listen. Michigan finished with the number 8 recruiting class. Which could also get better because 5-star offensive tackle Josh Connolly is out there, who still has Michigan in his top 3. Supposedly going to commit next month. Could get better. Who knows? But he's still out there. National Signing Day. Man, that's optics. Stop whining about that. Michigan's class was already signed. What do you want him to do? Sit at his desk on National Signing Day and watch everybody else get their players? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Makes no sense. But another thing, man, the number 8 recruiting class, and they had 10 decommitments throughout the process of recruiting before National Signing Day. Some guys before the early signing period. Some guys, I think they only had one after the early signing period. So all of this was like during actually recruiting people. Some guys committed, decommitted. They lost 10 guys and still finished with the number 8 recruiting class. Come on, man. You do the math, dog. Like, was not going to hurt Michigan. As simple as that. Y'all have a nice day, man. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.